neighbor, sheep and spares, horses, roosters, sheep and hares. They can stand up on the table, right up on the table. When I set them in a row, and a little breath I blow, then they move like they were living, just like they were living. Wherever you go, choosing not to guide you. Let your voice alone, we will sanctify you. In the darkness of dismay, like the stars they say, when sincerely you have prayed, heart and soul are ready. Give your life for what you love, water and the oil, God will bless you from all, living will be royal.
Very good. You sang beautifully. Unafraid was sung during the Nazi occupation. And so it's not a matter of just being carefree. It wasn't that there weren't very major problems going on. But one of the reasons that I did this book is it seems to me that we live in a society now where there's a lot of fear, where fear is really used, whether it's politics, advertising, drugs, or whether it's even in religion, where fear is being induced. And I think about the time that I was growing up, and we're singing this song. It doesn't mean that there aren't problems or that you should be reckless, but that you can live without fear and a much richer life. So that was, I went through several titles, but that was the one I ended up with. This is the songbook with the CD. Afterwards, I have a few here for sale, and it's $39.95 with the CD, and we have credit cards. I think we just have 4 books with us, but if you're interested in that. And then the CD is $10, and the CD with all the words in Danish and English is $15. So that'll be afterwards. And also, I edit now Church and Life, which is called Kirkefolk, and that's free. So if you want to pick up one of those. Yes?
We also have some at the museum.
And you have some at the museum. Oh, great.
For
great.
sale.
Great. Thank you. My father, it seems kind of strange, even to me, to be publishing a book co-authored by my father. His photographs have been preserved. He was deaf as a post for them. He could not hear anything. And it took him forever to take a picture, but he took wonderful pictures. And I have the entire picture here. It was given to me by Faith Christensen, so I think some of you would see yourself in these pictures if you want to take a look at that. It's kind of interesting. I think it was taken in 1960. It's the kind of guys. This other story is not so much about the sermon, but as it is, it's taken during the time of Pentecost. It has to do with Mrs. Goodhope. And one of the things that she did for us is that she took us out to the Hutterite colony. Mrs. Goodhope, she had this little house down there. Right now, I guess the school's kind of expanded. Yeah, right over there. And she's and she didn't feel like my father was fair to the communists in a sermon he gave. He was critical, and she said she was a very liberal-minded woman, and actually my father was quite, that way too. But she, he could see the value. But she really wanted us to see communism at its best, which was with the Hutterite colony, and that they shared all their money. So in the story I've written, I use my sister Karma, and I write about her and the trip out there and so forth. And this is just a fairly short segment. He's driving west. Ibsen rarely talked as he drove. Lost in thought, he drove his Chevrolet further west on the gravel, cloaking the prairie road behind them with new layers of dust. Mrs. Goodhope chatted about the positive aspects of communism, while Karma amused herself in the back seat, playing with the section of the plastic seat covers that stuck to her thighs. What is communism? Karma asked. Communism, it's a way of living where people share everything, Mrs. Goodhope said. Everything? Yes. Even their money? Yes, they have one purse. Can we see it? Karma asked. Probably not. We're not part of the community. You have to be a member of the colony. I wish we could see it, Karma said. Maybe? No, I don't think so. But maybe? Mrs. Goodhope changed the subject. The Hutterites make everything for themselves and each other, even their shoes. How come? Karma was wearing the shorts and halter that her mother had sewn out of pink flowered cotton feed sacks saved by a farmer for Asta to make clothing for her daughters. But shoes? Could her mother or father make shoes? Because they can. They're good shoes, you'll see. The terrain changed drastically. The flat land suddenly became hilly and barren. Ibsen drove the Chevrolet up and down a steep hill. At the side of the dirt road, a bearded man in bib overalls motioned to them. Ibsen stopped the car. The man looked at the windows, scrutinizing them from behind his heavy beard. Then seeing Mrs. Goodhope, he nodded. "These are friends of mine," Mrs. Goodhope said. Reverend Ibsen and his daughter Karma. "Welcome." He nodded again, motioning for the car to pass. Behind the next hill lay the center of the Hutterite colony. It was comprised of a dozen or so dark wooden buildings and a similar number of people dressed in dark clothing, hats, or bonnets, who stopped to watch them as the car drove into their valley. Karma eagerly climbed out of the hot back seat. 4 young Hutterite girls were playing nearby. They stopped their game and stared at the newcomer as if she'd arrived in a spaceship. Wearing high-button shoes, long black dresses with wrist-length sleeves and high collars, the Hutterite girls gasped and giggled at the young redhead in her pink shorts and elastic strapless halter. Not usually shy, Karma retreated behind her father. A tall bearded man, his reddish cheeks mapped by blue lines, emerged from the building. When he gave the word, the giggling Hutterite girls quickly disappeared, and Mrs. Goodhope introduced Henrik, the leader of the community. And then it goes on to some of the things that they saw. The trio accompanied Henrik to nearly every building in the small settlement, including the shoemaker's workshop, where Karma saw many sizes of the high-button shoes, and the carpentry shop, where Ibsen carefully ran his hand across a newly finished hope chest. "Frida, one of our girls, is having her 15th birthday next week. This will be hers," Henrik said. "It's beautiful," said Mrs. Goodhope, admiring brightly colored flowers painted on the wood. And to Reverend Ibsen, she said, "It's the only thing that is personally owned and does not belong to the community." Ibsen nodded. "Can we look inside?" Karma asked. "There isn't anything in it yet, but there soon will be," Henrik explained. Frida will fill it with things she made, linens, towels, and sheets, tablecloths for marriage. Before they left, Ibsen placed 2 Hutterite balloons in the trunk, the one that he had purchased, the other gift. "We will get a lot of use out of these. Thank you." Wonderful day, Mrs. Goodhope said, looking around her at the colony as if reluctant to leave. "Goodbye," Karma said, looking past Henrik to her contemporaries in the background, now numbering more than a half-dozen girls who were watching as she climbed back into the car. "Come again," Henrik said, vigorously shaking hands, including the little girls. "We don't want many visitors, but you're welcome here. Come back again." "Thank you," said Ibsen. "Thank you very much." On the drive home, Karma was unusually quiet in the back seat. "Did you have a good time?" Mrs. Goodhope asked. "Yes," she said, hesitating. Her grandmother had taught her not to complain. Complaining showed a lack of imagination. But Karma could not help it. Except we didn't get to see the purse. I wish we could have seen their purse." "What purse?" "The purse, the one where they keep all the money." "Well, it isn't a real purse," Mrs. Goodhope explained. "That's just an expression." Karma was silent for a minute or two. "I don't want to be a communist," she said. "They must get really hot." "No, they're used to it," Mrs. Goodhope said. A few miles down the road, she added, "and all communists don't dress the same way."